Hey, what's going on, guys? Xbox All In channel, host Sega Forever here. I know it's been a long time since I did a video, and man, I'm just not gonna lie, dude. I've been really busy. Hold on, let me make sure all this stuff is working. Hopefully, this is streaming. Like I said, it's been a long time. Oh, here we go. Here we go. It's been a long time since I did a video, so please bear with me. Let me make sure all this stuff is up and running. Hopefully, you guys can hear me. If the volume is good. Let me check. Yeah, looks like the volume's good. And yep, it's streaming. Good. Dude, it's been so long since I did a video that a lot of this stuff has changed. So I was kind of struggling. One of the stuff that I lost was I no longer have the premium package. So there's a lot of stuff that I won't be able to do. But that's fine. That's not the point of this video. I just wanted to do a quick channel update. Going into 2026, guys, like I said, I know I haven't done a video in a long time. Don't get it twisted. There's nothing bad going on. For those of you guys that are concerned, I'm fine. And it's nothing to do. You guys know I'm a pro Xbox channel, so it has nothing to do with Xbox or Microsoft. Right? A lot of times stuff like this happens for a lot of these pro Xbox channels. Guys kind of fall off for various reasons, and I have my own, mostly personal. But some of these guys they fall off, and they either just walk away from it, or as we all know, they kind of switch to the other side, or just leave Xbox altogether. I told you guys I'll never do that. That's not what this channel is all about. For me, this is like I told you guys 100 times. Yeah, if I ever step away from gaming, it'll be as an Xbox guy. This will be my last foray into gaming, especially moving forward. I've tried to do a lot of different things when it comes to gaming, but I find myself still the most comfortable when it comes to gaming is using a console, and that's never going to change. And I know it's never going to change. That's just the way I am. I'm just too old school. And look, dude, if you guys want to do whatever you guys want to do, that's fine. But just, nothing's really changed with this channel. You're going to come here and be pro Xbox, dude. We'll talk about a lot of different things. We'll keep things honest. We'll keep things 100, as always. Because there's a lot of stuff to look forward to in 2026, especially when it comes to just being a gamer. There's a lot of news that's going on out there right now for a lot of people putting out content talking about how big 2026 is going to be. Now, if whether all of this stuff comes into fruition or how things change, we don't know. You know what I mean? It's all speculation at this point. So some stuff is set in stone, like we know we're going to get a console, right? But then there's news out there about that stuff changing and all that stuff. Anyway, that's neither here nor there for the channel. This is just going to be a quick video. Just wanted to touch base with you guys, let you guys know I've just been busy. For me personally, it's just been working and spending time with my family, whatever spare time I have. I've still been playing video games, right? That'll never change. I just have to kind of scale it back a little bit. In fact, I find myself playing COD most of the time just because that's a game that you can jump in and out of when you don't have a lot of time to spare. And then the times that I did play, I did try and get into some other games. Like I played, just recently I was playing Atomfall. Is that the name of it? Atomfall. It's been in Game Pass for months. I actually downloaded it, took a look at it. Looked pretty cool. And the graphics in and of itself looks good. The story, the premise, everything looked fine. And then I started playing it the other day. And I mean, so far I like the game. The combat's a little bit, I would have to say it's a little bit stiff, if I'm being honest. But it's one of these games where you're going to level up over time. And they have a kind of a thing where when you get materials, it's like any post-apocalyptic game, right? You're going to collect things, you're going to put stuff in storage, you're going to upgrade your stuff, upgrade your skill sets, and stuff like that. But one of the things that they did that was interesting is that there's a barter system, right, in this game that adds a little bit of a twist to it. Not hard to get to wrap your mind around and stuff like that, but being so early in the game, hopefully I can get more storage for my backpack. There's a lot of stuff that I hope that I can do soon that'll keep me more intrigued in the game. Because the game it's a great game. It's a good game. It's a great game, but right now it's the leveling and the balance and stuff like that is a little bit off for me. But we'll see how it goes moving forward. I always want to give a new game, a new franchise, something like that. The benefit of the doubt. Put some time into it before I just kind of write it off. And I'm not saying write it off as in it's bad. just write it off as in it's just not my cup of tea, and then move on from it, right? And that seems to be something that a lot of people can't wrap their head around, and I think that's kind of bad, right? And I think that's just part of being a gamer. You have to kind of like put some time into this stuff, right? Because a lot of games I grew up with, man, it didn't some, those games didn't capture you right from the jump, man. You have to put some time into it. So I'm trying to do that right now, and with all the stuff going on with gaming right now, you never want people not to create the things that they want to create, and you never want people to, follow along the lines of just just making what everybody wants, quote unquote, what everybody wants. Right? You want people to take risks. You want some creativity, right? This is why it's great to have ID at Xbox. Sorry, guys. Oh, there we go. Hey, what's up, Daniel? Man, happy Friday, yeah, and happy New Year's. Happy New Year's to everybody. Um, Thanks for stopping in, Daniel, man. I guess this is still. I'm sorry, but this is the format is different. They actually changed it on StreamYard. It looks like they added some more features because I'm just using the bare bones version of StreamYard because I haven't been able to do videos, and I guess the account I had expired. And I saw some email that they sent me, but when I saw it on StreamYard, and they want me to re up for it, and I'm like, dude, that's a lot of money. So, and I'll talk about that kind of stuff separately. Just wanted to touch base on the channel in and of itself. So, but that's what I've been doing. I'm playing Adamfall. Hopefully, it picks up. Like I said, and I kudos to those guys because you can tell they made an original concept. It borrows from certain things, right? Of course, like most games do, but it feels like they're trying to tell their own story. Um, the geography of where it takes place. Love the characters, right? Nothing too deep because I've just started the game, but as the story progresses, hopefully I like it more and more. And we'll see, guys. We'll see if I'll be playing this game to completion or if I'm going to probably be one of these games that I'll probably drop off within a month. Okay, we'll see. I'll update you guys as we go along. Because at the end of the day, that's what I'm going to transfer the channel to, right? We cover a lot of the stuff that surrounds Xbox besides gaming, right? In fact, that's what the channel kind of focuses on. That's the stuff because that's the stuff I really want to talk about. But if you guys are like me and you guys know all last year, right? And some of it is because of stuff that Microsoft and Xbox did, but a lot of it is just it's just the toxicity in the gaming community when it comes to Xbox. And for me personally, it expanded beyond that because there's a lot of different channels of people I follow. I kind of touched on this a couple months ago. There's people that I follow that they get involved in video gaming because they're part of pop culture, right? And pop culture, gaming is a part of pop culture. So these guys talk about pop culture, and then they talk about gaming, right? And there's just certain narratives when it comes to Xbox that's out there that these guys will touch upon, right? And I'll be honest with you guys, it's tiring. I know I'm tired of it, right? So it's kind of good to kind of step away because it's also boring, if I'm being honest, right? Because every day when I turn on my internet and I just wanted to get my Bing points, right, so that I can convert them to basically real money, so that I can use that to buy stuff, right? And it's all to support the industry because everything I make out of those Bing points, Microsoft is not dumb. It's going right back to the developers, right? It's their ecosystem. It's how they got it set up. It's actually quite brilliant. But I do that almost every day. And when I do that to get my Bing points, man, if you just type in Xbox, dude, the news is always negative. Right, there's some positives here and there, but for the most part, it's always negative. Right? It's the algorithm. I guess what's the clicks, and then it's getting to the point where even people who might have started off their channel pro Xbox and became anti Xbox, and then they're even commenting on how bad Xbox is. I mean, even they should know that it's getting a bit tiring. Right? Like it's almost a meme in and of itself. Because if Xbox ever went away, a lot of these channels would collapse. I mean, people really wouldn't have anything to talk about at the end of the day. And that's kind of sad, right? So for me, just kind of removing myself from that, I'll comment on things like I normally do, right? But at the end of the day, dude, if I'm being honest, I'd just rather be playing my games than dealing with all this kind of stuff because it's never going to change, right? And like I said months ago, the only people that can change this is Microsoft itself, right? But it doesn't look like they're perfectly fine. Or so it seems they should perfectly fine to just move on ahead no matter what happens, no matter what people says, no matter how much bad press they got. And so, like I said before, if they don't care, I don't care. The thing that I do care about is though at the end of the day is their games and their services. And even though they've done some changes that I don't agree with on the services side, when it comes to the games, dude, they can't be touched, if I'm being honest. Right? All the stuff going around about what they're doing with their they're exclusive, non-exclusive, stuff's going all over the place, right? whatever, right? But at the end of the day, if you fire up your Xbox and you want to play games, that's the place to be. I don't care what anybody says, right? Because I'll argue with people up all day and night about that kind of stuff, right? Because at the end of the day, most of the people you end up arguing online, they don't play, they really don't play games, right? So there's that you have to think about, and if you're enjoying the content on your console, then that should be all that matters. Right? And that's what we're kind of doing on the channel moving forward. Also, we're gonna do some pop culture stuff. Right? We'll do it on this video. Like I said, this is a quick update. Um, as you can hear all the background noise, man, I guess our neighbors are out and about. It's that same dog. Every barking here on the video, that it's the neighbor's dog. It's the same dog barking all the time. And there's people popping firecrackers, even though it's not the 1st of July, or I mean, excuse me, even though it's not the 1st of January, it's not New Year's anymore, or a day removed. Yeah, and in fact, I wanted to do a video on New Year's, but I just didn't have the time. I'd rather spend time with my family, if I'm being honest. So. But anyway, just this is a quick update, man. Nothing's really changed. The only thing that might change is the type of content I put out or the regularity I put content out. I've actually formulated a schedule for myself just so I can look at it and see if I could pull it off, and maybe I can, but no promises, guys. I know it's been a long time since I put something out, and hopefully I can turn that around if possible, but I'm not going to make any promises, especially when you're looking at 2026. Right? There's a lot of stuff going on with gaming, especially for Xbox, right? It's going to be a big year for them. And for me personally, guys, I mean, there's stuff going on with my workplace. There's stuff going on with the country, right? There's all these kind of things going on. And look, I mean, the last, I would say, 2 months that November, October, the last October, November, December, it's been crazy, right? It's been crazy for me, right? And there's just a lot of stuff I kind of went through, and then I realized, which was good, right? It was kind of bad, but it was also kind of good because it made me realize, a lot of different things about where I am in my life right now, and I know that I'm not going to get heavy with this kind of stuff. I'm just saying, man, I just opened my eyes to some of the stuff that I want to do, some of the kind of stuff that I need to prioritize, and how I'm going to enjoy the stuff that I do, man. It's just like, I'm not going to get away from some of the things that I like to do, right? But at the end of the day, man, there's going to be definitely some shifting, right? Hey, what's up, T? Hey, great job on your stats, man. You know what? I didn't even get a chance to look that up. Hold on. I didn't even get a chance to look up my stats. Can you see them on Xbox? I know I kind of fell off at the end of the year, man. That's for sure. I'm surprised they don't have it. Let me bring it. Hold on, guys. Since T popped in, man. T is the undisputed champion when it comes to the Xbox dudes, I know. Hold on. Xbox year in review 2025. Let me do. Oh, it is on. There will be no official Xbox year review for 2025 as Microsoft is relocating its marketing. Oh, I don't know what that means. Huh, interesting. Like I said, man, you guys got to keep your head on a swivel this year. That's just the way it's going to be. Oh, is that where it is, T? True achievements? All right, I'll go check it out real quick. Let me see, guys. I can't get to it. Yeah, that's cool. I'll do another, because I am going to do a year in review for 2025, guys. And then from that, we'll catapult into 2026. Also, I'm going to do pop culture stuff again. It's coming back. It'll be interesting because I don't know if I can share trailers and stuff like that, which is fine because a lot of these guys are cracking down on that. If you guys haven't noticed, and if you have a negative review for their content, a lot of these guys are not happy about that, right? So they'll demonetize your channel. There's stuff that they're doing, and I'm not gonna lie, guys. I can't really say that as I blame them, because it is their content at the end of the day. I don't agree with them doing that, right? I think they should stand on their principles, right? When it comes to the content they create, if they believe in what they make, right? But at the end of the day, it's their content to do whatever they want to do, which is fine. I can still talk about it, dude. I don't need to be sharing stuff on the channel. If I can do it, I'll do it. If I can't, it's fine too. We can just talk about it. Because what I'm gonna do this year is just all in chats. Sorry, guys. But yeah, thanks, T. I'm gonna look that up. Hey, what up, Faded Blaze? Happy New Year. I was just about to ask about the next political stream because things are wild now. Yeah, I'll bring those back as well. Um, it's just like I said, it's hard to keep up with everything because usually I'm in it. I'm looking at it. Just like right now, Faded. I don't know if you know this, man. I don't know if you're big into anime, but this has been going on for a little bit, man. China and Japan have been getting into it, and so what China does is like when they don't like a country, when a country pisses them off, China is trying to be the predominant power in Asia, right? So they do a lot of how can I put this? There's a lot of cross pollination between all those different countries, even though they have history. But when somebody like when China gets upset and they get upset with a particular country, in this case it's Japan, they ban stuff, right? They'll take the political stance, they'll go to political route, but now they're going to pop culture route, and they're banning Japanese artists. They do it to South Korea all the time when I get mad at South Korea, right? They'll ban like that year. I think BTS got banned, and BTS was really popular. I mean, they still are, but I mean, this was years when they were super popular. And it's beginning to wear thin, man, and it's beginning to expose China. Um, so yeah, content like that we'll talk about it, right? Because I have no problem talking about it. I actually enjoy that. That's what I've been doing, if I'm being honest. I've been spending time playing my games in and out, but like for example, I've been watching One Piece. One Piece I never got into when it first came out. I just wasn't into anime like that. So my daughter is a huge anime fan. She'll probably be working in the industry one day. She has the ability to do it. Um, I don't know if she like the work conditions, but it is what it is. So she watches One Piece. She's been watching it for a long time, and so I finally sat down and I watched because we talked about it, and then we watched the live action on Netflix. But I finally sat down because I wanted to have something to watch and something to consistently watch, and so I sat down and actually watched the first episode of One Piece, and I was like, oh, okay, interesting. And then from one episode, it went to two, went to three, and I knew of One Piece, but I didn't really know One Piece. And I get it. After I think we're like 20 episodes in, we're actually at the part where Sanji, they're on Sanji's story arc, and so with the cooking pirates and all that stuff, Baratier and all that stuff. And so it's interesting, man. It's cool, right? Because when I watched the show, I really did like the live action show. You end up watching the anime, you actually get all the stuff that gets filled in, right? And at the end of the day, it is what it is. So I would rather spend my time on stuff that I actually enjoy, and that's what's happening. Hold on, guys. Okay. Oh, is that just the neighbor's dog? I got two neighbors that got dogs, and they both whine a lot. So, which I don't care. It doesn't bother me when I'm just in the house. But when I'm doing these videos, I'm pretty sure you guys can hear it. So, but yeah, Faded. I'll get back on that kind of stuff because I mean, 2020, as far as politics, right? Especially when it comes to the economy, 2026 is going to be a big year for the current administration. A lot of promises made, but like they say, promises made, promises kept. We'll see. I think the most important thing, though, if you guys are politically charged, is to look at yourself first and to put your stuff first, right? And realize what you believe in. There's a lot of drama going on in politics, like you said, Phoebe, right? And things are wild, right? With everything that's going on. And one of the reasons you see that is because a lot of people are really wishy-washy on their principles or their morals, which I find funny, right? But yeah, we'll get into that, Faded, man. Thanks for being here, brother. Hey, what's up, Mr. Kima? Microsoft says they weren't doing that this year or in the future year review stats. Oh, really? Something did pop up on that, but I thought it was more on the newsworthy side. All right, Mr. Kima. That's too bad. That's too bad because I actually did like that. Like I said, guys, that's the changes that Microsoft is making. Right? Some of it good, some of it bad, depending on how you feel about it. I think that's really that's too bad because I think that's a good anyway, that's good for the fans. I enjoy it. Right? You can get back and look at your year in review. I don't necessarily comb over like my achievements and stuff like that, but it was kind of cool to see the stats and how I played. And then you can use that moving forward because that's what I'm going to be doing. Like my resolution video, I'll be doing that separately on the side, talking about that, like how I'm going to do my year 2026, man. Yes, I like to do resolutions. This time it means a lot more to me because of the last 3 months and some of the stuff I went through. And I've actually I set milestones for myself across the board, right? And we see how that turns out in 2026. But I think it is important to reflect and also to kind of plan ahead. Not like, don't get too mechanical about it, dude. Like I always say on my channel, it's good to be fluid, right? But, it doesn't hurt to set some benchmarks, right? That you want to be in certain things that you do. Like for me, gaming, definitely gonna get back to finishing a lot of my games. That's my big thing this year for my games. This is why I'm not stressing like a lot of other people on some of the media. Just let's just be honest, right? It's just a complete hate to get from the media because at the end of the day, I have so many games I can play, and I know a lot of the guys talk about this too because we do have a lot of games, right? Like I'm playing Atomfall, finding it very interesting. Hopefully, it keeps my interest. I can fall back on um, Outer Worlds 2. Kind of fell off that. I'm playing COD right now, but the new COD is okay for me. But because I already played Black Ops 6 and Black Ops 7, I was hoping for a more sim type game, right? So I went back and started playing Modern Warfare, and I find a lot of people are doing that too. It's easy for me to jump into a game. So yeah, but that's too bad. I actually like that. It's those little things that Microsoft is doing. Look, and it's not going to break the bank for me, but what I'm saying is, that's again, like I say all the time on my channel, is how I participate in the ecosystem, and it's those little tweaks that they're doing. I'm gonna miss that. I'm not gonna lie. Faded says, and you came at the right time when Sony got hacked and possibly can't be jailbroken. Really, I had no idea, Faded. I had no idea that happened to Sony. You mean the console or the company? Like, did they get hacked? I mean, they have issues with that, like really bad. They really need to do something about their security because that moving forward is going to be the bottom line at the end of the day. Trust me, I know. I deal with that all the time on a daily basis where I work. And if they can't secure their stuff, dude, that's not good. That is one of the many reasons that I don't mess with Sony. It's kind of the good thing about Xbox. At least the Xbox hate that it gets. Like, look here, Alexander Flame, dude, haven't seen you forever. Xbox sucks. Well, at least you're consistent. At least you're consistent, dude. But just to make a point, you have Alexander Flame here talking trash and stuff like that. The good thing about that is that Xbox is kind of held to that standard, right? Because there's going to be people there just waiting for them to mess up. So this is why they have to post a lot of the stuff that they do, or when they have issues, when there's security breaches, when it's very rare, right? Like you look at it on the software side with Microsoft, right? People have no mercy on them, right? And they are the prolific company. Let's not, I'm not trying to say they are the, they got their big boy pants on. They can handle it. But it's funny. Yeah, what's up, Alexander? And Happy New Year, bro. Alexander Flame. I can't wait to get a PS5 emulator on my PC or Xbox. Oh yeah, yeah. I think Hebot was talking about that. Hebot does emulators and stuff like that. A little bit beyond me. Um, oh, dude. Because the rumor is that Steam, right, is going to be on the new Xbox that's coming out. I know there was a news article talking about the PlayStation and the Xbox, and they always do that, right? When it's negative, for PlayStation, they'll always include the Xbox in it, right? And in a way, you have to because it does affect the industry as a whole, right? And of course, Nintendo don't make the cut because they have because theirs is a handheld, but you know, but they're saying that the next generation consoles, are going to be, what is that? They're not going to be able to make them because the chips or whatever. No, they're not going to be able to make them. Sorry, guys, misspoke. They're going to get delayed because the issues with the chips and everything like that. Which is, they're not wrong. But given the way Microsoft came out with the Xbox Series of consoles, I don't see that. It could happen. I could be wrong, but they plan well in advance for this kind of stuff. What they need to do is just finally get that chip production back here. I mean, I know we work closely with the manufacturers in Taiwan, which you need to because they're cutting edge. But you bring that stuff over here because for me, and it's not like this whole like there's people out there talking about this and like red or blue. It's just better for to have options. Like I always say on my channel, it's always great to have options, and we need to have those options. So they have to rely on people, or when the supply chain gets broken, like we experienced a couple years ago, right? We don't have to worry about it. The PS5 can be jailbroken since someone hacked it and got the key. Wow, was it somebody at Sony that did that? Is that their next? Is that their next big play? It just amazes me that I stepped away for a while, and then but every time I check the news, or even coming back now, like what you're telling me, faded, that's not changed at all. It's still the same thing. Like I just stepped out of time, came back in, and nothing's changed when it comes to gaming and the narratives that are put out there. Is the internet losing their mind about this? Like, is the Sony fan base losing their mind, or are they just like Alexander here? Alexander, man, you the man, bro. That's holding down the fort. Yeah. Well, we'll see, dude. I gotta go look at that, man. I'll go look at it. And then when we do the podcast, guys, I'll bring up back the podcast. We do the podcast, and then we can talk about it a little bit more in detail. And I don't have to be the Wrecking Crew podcast because it's going to be game industry focused. Since if we talk about stuff like this, right? But like, look, dude, I'm good. I hope you guys had a. I mean, the end of the year, 2025 for me was a challenge. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm all good. Right? It's actually something that I really needed. If I'm being honest with you, as a wake up call for a lot of different things, um, especially on the personal side, right? And I say, God, look, dude, God is good. Brought me through it, man. Made me realize a lot of different things, right? What's important, what's not so important. And when it comes to gaming, dude, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna move forward, talk about gaming, talk about games, touch on the culture, um, hold the haters accountable. Um, even you, brother, even you, Alexander. Mr. Kima, developers and publishers will stop putting games on PS5 if Sony can't handle on a jailbroken. Yeah, yeah, 100%, 100%. I mean, with all the other stuff too, right, Mr. Kima, they got to worry about as far as sales and stuff like that. And look, at the end of the day, guys, it's beyond a console war thing, dude. It's just people do not have disposable income, and people, man, and I can speak about this from first-hand experience. People are getting frugal. They're getting downright frugal, man, because like myself, and I've always kind of been like this, but there's a lot of people that got a wake-up call the last 2 months, man. The economy went south all of a sudden, right? The government shutdown and stuff like that. People realize how many people rely on the government, right? And it's not a good feeling, right? They have to learn a tough lesson. Some people don't. Some people don't learn, and we can't do anything about those people. But the people that do, or the people that did learn from that experience, right? They'll be better for it. But yeah, 100% agree, Mr. Kimo. If they can't secure their content, then what's the point? That's an important thing, man. This is we have meetings on this, on especially with AI right around the corner, dude. It's gonna be you're looking at a possible Wild West situation here, right? And I know the government, and I know all these tech industries and stuff like that are trying to clamp down, but at the end of the day, dude, you can't. What's that Firefly quote? You can't stop the signal now. That's what it's gonna turn into. I for one got my popper ready, looking forward to it. Right, but I'll be honest with you, man. Some of these dudes need to be taken down a notch or two. They think they have control, and nothing could be further from the truth. They have an illusion of control. That's what they do have. But anyway, guys, I told myself I keep that down to half an hour. Um, again, just everything is cool, dude. It's great to be back. Thank you guys for coming in the chat, Daniel, T. I don't. And even if I could get their tea, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna compare with you. That's just not. That's just not gonna happen. So I'm just gonna use that as an excuse. You the man. You the champ. You win. Okay. I'll tell you that. Faded man. Thanks for being here, bro. Appreciate it. And Mr. Kima, dude. You know. And even hey, look, dude. Even you, Alexander. Man, like I said, happy New Year. Yeah. Everybody's welcome and can have that conversation. Shout out to Sega Man, dude. He did a really great video the other day. I actually needed that. I know the brethren's been really busy. Um, and so it was good to see that. And I think Unlimited did a couple of videos. I have to go check them out. I've just been literally like doing stuff around my house, doing stuff with my kids, working overtime. Right? It's it's been nonstop, dude. I'm a little bit proud of myself, bro. But I'm not gonna lie, man. Your boy, I'm feeling it, man. I ain't that spring chicken anymore, man. And I can feel it. I was feeling it, man. I was working some long hours, and I was like, dang, dude. I can't be doing this for too much longer. Right? But it was also good, man, because it kind of reminded me of days gone by, man. You grew up like I did. A lot of us in the group are the same age, man. We know how it is, man. We know about the hustle. We know about the hustle, right? We know like took it back a little old school for me, man. But I just telling you, my body was like, dude, I have to get up early in the morning just to go to the gym, just to stretch, and then go to work, and then work overtime, and then come home and take your stuff around here. Right? But it was good, man. I needed that, dude. It was a wake up call. And so moving forward, expect things to be a little bit more precise, a little bit more organized on the channel. We're going to touch on the stuff that I would like to touch on, and you guys can make suggestions. It'd be great if you guys come along for the ride as well, man. I really appreciate everybody who comes to the channel and checks out these videos, all right? So we're going to wrap it up, man. Again, thank you all for being here. Xbox All In channel, host Sega Forever. We out.